going on, everyone? I'm Anthony with Chicago Tough Sports, and I'm here with Hitman. What's going on, Hitman?
Yeah, what's up?
Long time no see. It's been a while since we did anything. So, we're here to do a wrestling show tonight. We're going to touch base on this past weekend's Elimination Chamber. And then we're going to start off with a little bit of the Cody Rhodes situation. Scout, our buddy Scout wants us to talk about that a little bit. So I think we'll lead off with that. His thing is he's the last guy that he would expect to leave AEW since he was like pretty much the face of that company to start off with. And for him just to up and leave, it was pretty shocking, I think, for everybody. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I when the reports came out that he was leaving, it definitely shocked the world. I mean, it was all over social media, and we really don't know the real reasons why he left. I mean, there's talk of creative differences, money, stuff like that. But the fact that you're talking about a founding member of in essence the competition to WWE is leaving and possibly signing with the competition. That's huge. That's huge.
My opinion, I feel it's the creative differences thing. They haven't been using him very much, and when they do, it's kind of like, what are you doing? I just feel they weren't using him properly. They stopped using him as the American Nightmare, and they've been using him as the American Dream, I think. Even his entrance, I know in AEW, when you're looking at your TV screen, the right tunnel is for face and the left tunnel is for heel. When they come out from backstage,
interesting.
He's been coming up from the middle, and he's the only person on that roster who's coming up. I guess you could say like an elevator type deal or something, or an escalator, whichever it is. He wasn't even coming out of a tunnel anymore. I think his wife has a lot to do with their exit from AEW. She was terrible, and the shit she would say on there was just really stupid. Like, it was just unnecessary. And then when they would fire back at her during an airing, like the next day on Twitter, she would be on Twitter just like complaining about it, like, how dare you, and people should be more supportive and not be so sensitive in a negative manner towards wrestling talent. So, I mean, I think she played a role in his departure, in their departure from AEW.
I mean, if that's the case, I mean, then she would, possibly play a role in his decision to go to WWE. But from everything that I've read, if he signs, that she's not coming with him.
I hope not.
It's all about, I don't know. It's just interesting that Cody wouldn't be just like you say. He wasn't my first choice if anybody was going to leave.
No,
but I mean, there's just I'm hoping he, once or if he signs, that he doesn't go back to the Stardust gimmick, that he can actually showcase what he's capable of doing. And I mean, there's so many endless possibilities on that roster, whether it be Raw or SmackDown or even NXT for that matter, that he could feud with. So, we have to see. I don't anticipate anything coming down the pike until April 4th.
Yeah, I've never been a big Cody Rhodes fan to begin with. And then I kind of lost not all, but like 98% interest in the guy when he did the whole Stardust thing over in WWE. That was just retarded.
But that necessarily wasn't him. I mean, that was.
But it still made me lose interest in him. The best thing I've ever seen him do was a few weeks ago, the match against Sammy Guevara. That was his, in my opinion, that was his number one match in his pro wrestling career. I mean, that whole match was just great. And then they they both did their finishers off the top of the 12-foot ladder, I think they were,
Yeah.
9-foot ladder. But other than that, I mean, when I heard he left, I wasn't like, oh my God, Cody Rhodes left. I could care less, honestly. When it comes to Rhodes.
For me, like I said, it was shocking. Is it a game changer? I don't know, because it all depends on, once again, assuming he signs with WWE,
yeah,
how he's used, how he's able to, if he's able to do his own promos, because honestly, and I know you don't like this, but it might be one of those where his first promo of the night might be a shot at AEW, might be a shot at Tony Khan.
Oh yeah, totally.
I think that's one of those times where I know you're not a fan. I'm not a huge fan of companies taking shots at each other.
No.
But I think that might be one that might be a little bit warranted.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to happen. It might happen. If he goes back to WWE, it will definitely happen. And I won't hate the shots because I'm an AEW fan. Like you said, I just don't like it, period. I hate when that's all CM Punk does is take shots at Vince and in WWE, and now MJF is doing it on a nightly basis. It's just stupid and annoying. It really is.
Well, if Cody does it just for night one,
yeah,
then it makes sense.
Okay.
And then after that, it is what it is.
No more.
But yeah, if it's a constant thing where he's taking shots or whatever,
yeah,
then no, I don't necessarily like that. But like I said, if it's a a night one thing, like I said, the night after WrestleMania, he comes out and takes a shot, it is what it is.
Yeah. So, well, I hope we answered Scott's question a little bit for him.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's endless possibilities with him. I mean, love to see him and Orton go at it. Him and Styles.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up. I think of when I hear Cody going back to WWE, The Miz pops in my head for some reason. Like that's the first guy that popped into my head was The Miz. I don't know why.
Well, Scott made a point last night. He was just basically saying that if they wanted to do a Shane McMahon versus Cody match, especially now that Triple H can't wrestle, since who was Cody always taking the shots at when he was at AEW? It was Triple H with taking the sledgehammer to the throne.
Yep.
I mean, that would make sense, but if Shane's not going to be involved in WrestleMania, then you might as well just hold him off until after WrestleMania. So
absolutely. All right, well, moving on to the Elimination Chamber. Let me get it out of the way. I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it. Well, I didn't fully dislike it. I want to say 90% of it. I didn't enjoy it. I was just like, what the hell is going on here? Again, I'll just skip right to the end of my little analysis. I give it a D+, C- as a whole. I don't know if you want to talk about each match.
Yeah, we can talk about each match. That's fine.
Let's start with the opening match, Roman Reigns versus Goldberg. Now, I like Goldberg. And I get it. Over there in Saudi Arabia, they love him. I get it. Okay, book him. Bring him over there, give the fans what they want, right? Stop fucking booking him in big matches, like title matches. Was that match even 5 minutes long? I don't even think it was 5 minutes. That match was dog doo-doo. It was bad. That was almost like I get what they're doing with Roman. In order for him to be the greatest ever, he has to knock out all these legends. But that was just like a step back for Roman as far as the gimmick goes. I think that kind of hurt him. That match was just terrible, man. That was bad all around. It was just
all right.
It was boring.
So explain to me why you think it was bad.
It was just boring. There was nothing. Everything that Roman's been doing has been so good, and then Goldberg comes in. It was. I don't like Goldberg in big matches anymore. I just don't. It doesn't make any sense.
So what do you expect from a Goldberg match? What do you honestly expect from a Goldberg match? Because you got exactly what you would get from a Goldberg match.
And you know what? I probably would have enjoyed it if it wasn't a title match. He should not be getting title shots. He really shouldn't be. Not
now. That's a different argument.
Yeah,
that's
that's why I didn't like it.
Okay, so you're saying that you didn't like it because
Roman is too much for Goldberg in the ring, on the mic, all around. He's too much for Goldberg at this point in Goldberg's career.
Okay, so who on the SmackDown roster would you prefer him to get if that's currently not in a storyline?
Oh, it's hard to say, man. He's gone through everybody. He's really gone through everyone.
Because Drew's in a storyline right now. He's the top babyface on SmackDown right now. So there really isn't a top babyface on SmackDown. So guess what? You had to go to Goldberg. This is 2 years in the making. I mean, there was supposed to wrestle at WrestleMania 35, 36. One of those two.
Thank God. If I know that's the case, thank God the match happened on Elimination Chamber and not on WrestleMania.
And you would have got the same
result,
the same kind of match, the same result.
Yeah.
Look, when it comes to the Goldberg match, what I expect intensity, which I got. I expect hard hitting, which I got. Spear, jackhammer, fine, whatever. The Goldberg matches are basically how you would bang a woman. You get on, get off, and leave. That's basically what it is right now. So that didn't necessarily bother me. What I did like was, look, what Roman did was basically, and please, people who are listening to this, I'm not advocating this. He basically shot Old Yeller.
Yeah, he did.
He made him pass out, and hopefully we don't ever see Goldberg again.
With you saying that, I don't mind seeing Goldberg, just not in big matches like title shots.
Yes,
he should not be in title matches anymore. Now, if you want to throw him in there like a sprinkle match, a fill-in match, cool. I'll watch it.
But you're not bringing Goldberg back for a sprinkle match. I think you're not doing that.
It's just time to cut it with him. Unless you go over to Saudi Arabia again, which they love him. Yes, give them what they want over there. That's fine. Keep them out of the title matches.
Okay. Well, like I said, that's a different argument.
Yeah.
Once again, it goes to what I know what you hate for me to talk about, the business side of professional wrestling.
Yeah, I get it.
That's what it is.
Yep. So, all right. I don't know. Did you have any more to talk about that, or can we move on?
No, we can move on.
On. What was the second match? The women's
chamber match.
Now, when that started, I had some interest, but I gained a lot of interest as soon as Nikki S or ASH or whatever her name was eliminated. Then I was like, yes, this idiot's gone. Now I can actually enjoy some wrestling because this moron doesn't know what she's doing in there. And then I lost interest towards the end when Rhea Ripley was eliminated. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, when Ripley first came to the main roster, they hit her on a pedestal. They were pushing her, and then they just pulled the rug out from under her. In comes Bianca Belair. I need you to explain to me because no one can. I figure if anyone could explain it to me, it would be you. Please tell me what is so special about Bianca Belair. She has muscles and long hair. Okay, beyond that, because I don't see I don't see anything in her.
Her personality is vibrant. She is good in the ring. She's very athletic. She's young.
So is Doudrop.
She's also good looking. She plays the part.
Okay.
She is a person that is very unique in terms of the WWE doesn't have anybody that can play to the market that the WWE wants, which is the young demographic, the young
The little
African American
girls.
female,
The little girls.
young,
You could do
the
anything
young,
you want in life. Just don't give up.
the young African American female.
Okay, well, I wasn't going to go there. I mean, when I say little girl, I just mean black, white, Mexican, Chinese, whatever.
Right. So
I don't
you
see
have
it.
that.
Yeah.
You have somebody who is a star in the making. Actually, it is a star. If you listen to the pop that she gets every single week, she's a star.
Oh, I'm not denying that. I know she's a star.
She's a star. You know, she's good in the ring. She's athletic. I think at times, and this goes with all wrestlers, that when they get a script or when they get their thing for their promos, I wish she would take her time. Because even going last night for Monday Night Raw, her promo last night, which has some good lines, just felt rushed. It felt forced. It felt like she was out of breath when she was trying to make her comebacks with Becky. But that will come with time. That will come with time. But that's what I see. I see a superstar in the making with Bianca Belair. She's that damn good.
I think
and Rhea Ripley is the same way, but I see Rhea Ripley as more of a, and I'm using quotes here, heel.
Yeah.
As opposed to her trying to be a babyface. I think eventually you will get Rhea versus Bianca at some point. That's eventually that will be your money match.
They just never figured out what to do with Rhea Ripley.
Well,
they never figured it out.
What you do with Rhea Ripley is you let her be a badass.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
And stop putting her up against Nikki ASH every goddamn week.
I agree with you. Yeah. I agree. I'm hoping that's done. My hope is that, you know, like I say, eventually, you know, we'll get that Rhea versus Bianca match.
Yeah.
But the match that just makes sense is to have Bianca versus Becky at WrestleMania. And that goes back to what happened at SummerSlam. And I remember you and I talked about this when it happened, that I said that this was going to lead to something.
This isn't done yet. Yeah.
Yeah. And I got killed for saying that you know, they buried Bianca. No, they didn't bury Bianca. If they would have buried Bianca wouldn't be back where she is right now.
Yeah.
They do what they do always with baby faces. They make them work.
Yeah.
And she's worked her way back up to this point. And now you have a legit storyline for her from 6 months ago. It makes sense.
I was pulling for Rhea or Doudrop to win. I didn't like Doudrop at first because of the gimmick, but I decided to like actually watch one of her matches.
She's good.
That girl can move for a big girl.
She's good.
I bet she could pull off like some really good, like violent, bloody matches. I bet she can throw it down in the ring if she wanted to.
No,
if she was given the opportunity.
She's really good in the ring, and you know, and that's unfortunately, you know, it's one of those where sometimes we can't get past the name, right? Doudrop.
I got past the name.
But if she would have gone by her normal wrestling name, Piper Niven, probably wouldn't be but that much of an issue. But you know, she's very good in the ring.
Yeah,
you know, like you said, she can move.
Yeah.
You know, I was happy to see Alexa and do what she does and stuff like that. You know, but Alexa's one of those wrestlers that doesn't need the title.
Yeah, I was happy to see her back in the ring, but I was also happy that she didn't win It's
Oh,
too
yeah.
early. There is some ring rust there. I like how they handled Alexa Bliss. It was
Yeah,
really
no,
really well done.
Alexa Bliss did um did some good stuff. I thought Liv Morgan did some good stuff. I'm with you on Nikki ASH. I'm not really feeling that gimmick anymore. I understood it at the time, but she needs to go back to that insanity gimmick.
Yeah.
What she had when she was in NXT.
All right. Well, what was the third match? I forgot what the third match was. Was that the Drew McIntyre match?
I believe so, and I'm not going to lie to you.
The match.
That was my underrated match of the card.
Yep, I agree.
I went into that match with low expectations just because.
Yeah.
But I have to give Madcap Moss credit. I'm not a huge fan of his gimmick, but that dude can go.
Yeah.
And Drew was solid. You and I talked about Madcap almost dying.
Yeah, that dude's.
Yeah.
I get it. You're trying to sell a match, but you need to be smarter than that.
Well, apparently, I mean, he just took the move wrong. I mean, he's supposed to fall flat, and I don't know why he was trying to tuck.
Yeah.
But I have to give the referee credit for stopping the match, to check on him, and then I gotta give Corbin credit too for giving him some extra time to kind of
Catch his breath.
catch his breath, and him was like, hey, you good, and just kind of him and Drew kind of running around the ring just so Moss can kind of get his faculties back together.
He was probably seeing stars after he took that bump.
I'm sure. I'm sure. I mean, that dude landed on his neck. I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
So luckily, I mean, he was able to finish the match, and he didn't have any residual effects from falling on his head.
Yeah. This might be unfortunate, but that was my match of the night. To be honest with you, that was my match, my event of the night. That was everything else was just kind of.
Yeah, I went back and we can talk about a little bit of the Lita and the
I don't want to talk about that. You can talk about it.
I actually, you know what? I went back and I looked at that match, and I enjoyed it. Yes, Lita was a little bit slow, but the more that I looked at it, I was like, it wasn't too bad. There was one point where I actually thought Becky was going to lose and Lita was going to win. I actually thought that. And then
I saw that they were trying to sell that.
And then when they had it, I was like, oh man. Then obviously Becky won, but I thought, I was like, you know what? If Lita wants to have one more run in her, she can do it.
Yeah,
she can do it.
Yeah, I have nothing good to say about that match, so I'd rather not say anything. It was just flat. It was bad. I'm a Becky Lynch fan, but that was not her best moment. I mean, if your opponent is falling flat and slow, as the better talent, I feel it's your responsibility to carry them in the match. There's been plenty of matches that we've all seen, and somebody carries the load during the match. It makes the match somewhat good.
Yeah, I don't think it's as bad as you think it is, but it wasn't a 5-star match, but it wasn't a 0-star match. I think it was about 3.5, 3.75 star match.
You're a very generous man.
Yeah, like I said, I thought it was good. I thought it was good.
Okay. Dumbest match of the night was that tag team match. The Usos and the Viking Raiders.
That wasn't even a match. It didn't even get started.
I was like, okay, the entrances are here. I got up to get something to drink. I came back. The Usos are walking back into the tunnel. Or going back. It's like,
yeah. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm getting to a point where I think I want the Usos to lose.
Yeah. Oh, I've been there. I've been there wanting the Usos to lose. They've been very boring. even their mic work it's very repetitive. It's the same shit over and over and over again.
Yeah, I think
There's
I
nothing
think there
new,
needs to
nothing
be.
fresh, nothing.
I think it's time for the Usos to lose the title, just so we can kind of see a different dynamic of Roman getting pissed off at them.
Yeah.
So, I think it's time for them to drop those titles. I thought you were going to talk about the tag match between Ronda and Naomi and Charlotte and Sonya Deville. I enjoyed that match. I'm not going to lie. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the fact that, I, I enjoy seeing Naomi. I think she's really good.
Okay.
I like Sonya Deville. I think Sonya Deville is also a mixed martial arts fighter. She adds credibility. Charlotte Flair, but seeing Ronda out there and the pop that she got, and the fact that she's wearing her judo outfit, her gi, right? That I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
The only thing about the match that I personally did not like was, all right, if Sonya Deville is going to lose, then Naomi needs to be the one that pins her.
Yeah.
That was the only thing about that match. That's the only thing about that match I did not like. Other than that, the match was fine for me.
All right, well, we're worlds apart on that. we're universal apart from that match.
Yeah. So now we get to the main event.
Yeah. We kind of knew it was going to happen, right? We kind of knew Lesnar was going to win that match.
Yeah, we did, but I think it was how they got there that was interesting. I mean, nobody knew that Lashley was hurt going into that match.
Yeah, you told me.
So it made sense why they did what they did.
He took those suplexes how many weeks ago? Well, January 1st.
Yeah.
He took those suplexes, and he's just now feeling the effects of it.
No, I mean he's been feeling the effects of it, but I guess now is the time where he has to have surgery.
I think it was dumb how they led up to his injury exit. You would go to think it'd take more than that to knock Bobby Lashley out of a match due to injury.
He's in concussion protocol.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, and the way that he hit the glass, that kind of makes sense.
I did read that. I did see on Twitter that Lesnar kicking through the chamber, that wasn't scripted. He actually bust through that.
Yeah,
plexiglass is not easy to break.
No, I mean, before we actually, I'll get to my Brock point in a second, but he definitely jacked up that pod. But I'm gonna tell you something. The guy who really showed himself, or really is going to be over soon, is going to be Austin Theory, because technically it took a F5 off the pod for Brock to beat.
That would have been Theory. So much better. And I thought Brock was going to jump off of that pod and F5 him in the ring. I was like, oh my God. That would have been equal to the Sammy Guevara doing the diamond cutter to Cody Rhodes off the ladder a few weeks ago. That would have been right there with it.
Yeah. But it's just interesting that now, Brock's the champion. And the funny thing is that this is a totally different Brock. Like, Brock is having fun.
It's funny that you say that. I was going to say it at the end, but I'll say it now. I'm starting to lose interest in this Brock Lesnar thing.
Why?
Him taking pictures with kids and hugging people.
Why? It's a different side of him.
Hey man, right? I'm a heel guy. I'm an evil I like the evil asshole dickhead wrestlers. I don't like Brock Lesnar going up to kids and taking pictures and giving them high fives and here, touch the title belt. I'm not enjoying the whole cowboy and the stupid sweater that he's wearing.
But you know the funny thing is that's him. That's his personality, right?
Yeah. I'm a Brock Lesnar fan. I'm just losing interest in this Brock Lesnar.
You gotta have character development.
Mm.
All right. You can't be you look, here's the thing. Brock is still a badass. When he gets in between those ropes, he's still a badass.
It's the gimmick I'm losing interest in.
That's part of the gimmick. That's part of the gimmick.
The cowboy hat and the sweater
that's him.
Mm.
That's him. When he gets in between the ropes, he's badass Brock. And then when he's out, he's basically, hey, I'm farm boy, and which is basically him. That's Brock in Canada and Minnesota.
Yeah, that's him. I'm not enjoying his out of the ring stuff. I'm enjoying him F5ing and suplexing the shit out of people, like he's always done. It's just now you talk about how you're going to make people bleed and you're going to kill them, and then you're high-fiving little kids on your way backstage.
You can still do that.
I just don't like it.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Brock is still going to be that badass. He's still going to be that guy that's going to kick a pod and F5 everybody.
Yeah.
He's just having fun along the way.
That's why at WrestleMania I'm pulling for Roman.
Yeah. In regards to the match at WrestleMania between those two, I think we are in agreement that we think Roman is going to win, but I think there has to be a definite winner. Like no shenanigans from Heyman, no shenanigans from the Usos.
Yeah.
I'm almost thinking that you might have to lock these two in some sort of cage.
I want to sell, man.
Have a Hell in a Cell match.
Yep.
My ideal scenario would be simple. Roman wins, and then as he's holding up both the titles, you hear Rock's music comes out.
Yep.
Rock comes out.
Here we go.
Rock bottoms Roman, and points, and that's how you end WrestleMania.
Okay.
You know that's I you know now you got.
Hey, you called this shit a year ago, dude. This whole story playing out. You called this, and then The Rock coming out. That's all we need now is for Roman. We didn't know who Roman was going to have to beat at WrestleMania, being Brock Lesnar. We knew it was going to be someone big, but then enter Rock.
Yeah, I mean now you can set up that 1 year build for WrestleMania 39. You know, now you have it to where, you know, Roman, assuming he beats Brock, has beat Brock, he beat Edge, he beat Bryan, he beat Goldberg, he beat Cena. So now you have that. Now you build him up big enough to where he's on that next marquee, that next superstar. And one of the things that I know we all get kind of funny about is like, who's the next superstar, right?
Yeah.
We have these different levels of superstars, right? You know, we all love the Attitude Era with, you know, Austin, Rock, Triple H, Undertaker, blah, 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 blah. But I think we all have to realize that that was a special era.
I always tell you guys when we're talking wrestling, I don't even talk about the Attitude Era because that was its own.
Well, and even with that, we have to look at it from.
Oh, hold on! Oh, we found the cat. Where was she?
Oh, hi.
It's just on the kitchen table.
Oh, Winter Bell.
Oh my god!
Oh,
I have to call everybody in line.
Look, she only has 3 legs.
Oh.
Can't tell because she's all black.
Okay, get her off.
Yeah, so I mean, but we also got to look at it like this too. You know, the Attitude Era, you know, was awesome, but when we talk about that era, we kind of sound like our fathers and our uncles or whatever that watched wrestling and was like,
Well, no,
they
it's
never-
because that was that was a special time, man. Like
yeah,
we will
yeah, but you know what?
never.
You know what else was a special time too? The golden era, where it was Hogan, where it was Macho Man, where it was DiBiase, where it was
That
Andre the
doesn't compare
Giant.
to the Attitude Era. I would say that was those guys were great. Those are they laid. Can I say they laid the foundation for today? I mean, there were obviously guys before them.
I would say that the golden era was that as well. I mean, look, you had the different you had the different superstars of that era. Like I said, you had Hogan, you had Macho Man, you had
It's
Andre
hard
the
to
Giant.
it's hard to compare. Well, we went way off topic here, but fuck it. I like talking about this stuff. It's hard for me, in my opinion, it's hard to compare that golden era to the Attitude Era because in the golden era, you weren't allowed to do a lot of things in those times. You weren't allowed to do too much. Does that make sense? What I'm saying? Like all the like the near nudity we got in the Attitude Era and Edge and Lita basically banging on national TV in the middle of a ring. And
Yeah, but that wasn't the Attitude Era. That was the Ruthless Aggression Era.
okay, yeah, that's my fault. Fuck. It's hard for me to say. It's hard for me to say what I'm thinking.
There were different stars. There were different superstars in each individual era. Yeah, we can say that the Attitude Era was the greatest era of all time. We can say that, but
It was.
But you also had superstars in the '90s. You know, Bret Hart, Kevin Nash, Razor Ramon.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, you had those, and then you had the '80s, and then you had the superstars of today. Every era has a superstar. It goes back to what's your personal preference of what a superstar is.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like, you know, you have the argument today of like, what's the better generation of basketball, right?
Yeah.
You know, like, are you a Jordan era fan, or do you prefer the LeBron era? You know, it's that argument.
It's a generational thing. That's what
it is. It is. So I do have 2 questions for you.
Okay.
Number one, I sent out a.
My nose is itching. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I sent out a tweet to you guys talking about heels.
I got nothing from you.
No, it was basically saying that, you know, from Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona, basically saying that if you cheer for a heel.
Oh, that shit. Yeah, that guy's retarded. I know. I understand. Okay, go on. I'm sorry.
No, I said he's kind of right because in the definition of a heel,
you're supposed to boo.
Right. But if a heel is making you cheer for him, is he really a heel?
Well, yeah, I'm cheering for him because I cheer for Roman Reigns right now because he's doing a great job as a heel.
Well, you can appreciate the work.
Yeah.
But
and I
that
cheer
doesn't
for
mean
him
you
to
have
win.
to like him. Right.
I like
It doesn't
him.
mean you have to like them. Right.
Are you talking to me or are you saying in general?
In general.
Oh, in general. Okay.
Like if you, like, for example, if you go back to, once again, like Scott and I talked about this yesterday.
Yeah.
It's a preference, right? You know, you choose to cheer for the heel.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. But that means that there aren't really any true heels in professional wrestling today. There is no true heel that makes you that you basically want to throw popcorn at. Like there's no true heel that, you know, that makes you have that Hogan at Bash at the Beach, right?
Yeah.
Like the last time that's all I'm saying. You know, it's a generational thing. Like, you know, everyone wants to root for the bad guy because bad is cool. It's kind of like with Austin, right?
Well, I
But
cheer
Vinci
for the
also-
bad. I cheer for the bad guy because I'm a dick. In like real life, I'm an ass.
Right.
So it kind of makes sense for me to cheer for the bad guys. Now, if they're a heel and they're doing bad work, I don't cheer for them. Like, I'll be honest, switching over to AEW, I'm starting to back off away from MJF. He is terrible in the ring when it comes to actual physically wrestling. He is terrible, boring, stale, nothing to write home about. His mic work, it's still good, but I'm starting to lose a little bit of interest in that as well, because he's starting to take the shots at WWE every single time he's on TV.
Right. Right. So my last question.
Okay.
So we all heard the reports about the Undertaker being inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
My question is, do you just make the Hall of Fame all about the Undertaker?
I saw this on Twitter today. Who said this?
Because this was going out, it's been going around for a while that if Taker was going in, he'll be the lone inductee, and you just make this ceremony all about his career and what he's meant to the WWE and to professional wrestling as a whole.
I've never been a big Undertaker fan. Not saying he's bad. And it's weird because I'm a big like zombie movie fanatic and anything zombie, and he's the dead man. And but as a fan of pro wrestling and what he's done, I will say yes, he should be the only one. I do agree with that. It was Bully Ray. I saw it on Twitter today. He was saying,
I agree with that.
I do. He's one of those rare. We did a video. I think me, you, and Scott. I don't know if Jimmy was in it. I said every generation. We were talking about Bray Wyatt when Bray Wyatt got let go. I said every generation of wrestling fan gets that one special gimmick that no one will ever be able to pull off. I forgot who I said before Undertaker, but then it was Undertaker and Bray Wyatt. Undertaker is one of those guys. I want to say he's a pioneer of wrestling, but I don't know if that would make sense.
Well, yeah, I mean,
he kind of opened
one
up
of the greatest.
He kind of opened up a door for pro wrestling. But definitely I feel he should be the only one.
Yeah.
That's telling him we appreciate everything you've done. You're on that Mount Rushmore. If there were a Mount Rushmore with 5 faces on it,
Yeah,
of any pro wrestler from any company of all time, Undertaker should be on there.
yeah. I mean, he's a Vince McMahon creation.
Yeah,
he is the greatest character of all time.
I never enjoyed his American Badass gimmick. That I didn't like it.
What
I did like of him, it was the dead man.
You know what the funny thing is? If you were to ask him which gimmick he enjoyed the most, he would tell you he would enjoy that American Badass gimmick.
He's a biker
because that's close to him.
Yeah, that's like his that's probably the closest thing to his real personality outside of wrestling.
Yeah, and I guess there was one point where he was going to leave if Vince didn't let him do this gimmick. And then they got the rights to the Kid Rock song, and did some stuff with Metallica, and they was able, and Limp Bizkit too. And then he was able to slowly morph back into that dead man gimmick. But I mean, my favorite Undertaker was during the Ministry of Darkness.
Yep.
You know, so
Shit.
If it's going to be just him, I mean, you got to have, you know,
Didn't they do a match or something where he hung someone in the Hell in the Cell by the neck?
yeah, he hung the
Like
boss
with a
man,
noose?
big boss man. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. I wanted
Yeah.
to say Vader for some reason, but I knew it wasn't Vader.
No, it was big boss man.
Okay.
But you know, you can have different speakers. You know, you start off with Sean, Triple H, Foley, Million Dollar Man who introduced him, Brother Love.
Yep.
I think I might have said Foley, but if I didn't, Mick
Yeah,
Foley, Kane.
someone-
You can't forget about Kane.
Someone from Paul Bearer's family has to speak at it.
Yeah, and I kind of wish that they had some like old school footage just talking about the Undertaker, talking about Mark Calloway.
Yeah.
And that they can use. And then you can also have Vince McMahon do the actual induction. And then you just have, Taker do a speech.
It has to be his theme, right? When he gets inducted, they have to do the whole entrance. The whole Undertaker.
I mean, they could. They
They
could.
have to. If they don't do it, they won't be paying 100% homage to the guy. You have to do the gong and the light. You have to do the whole thing, the whole 9 yards. You have to do it all.
Well, how about and I've heard this suggested. Night one of WrestleMania, you can just have him come down in the American Badass gimmick. And then night two, when it's time to introduce the Hall of Famers again, have Taker come out and then do what he did at WrestleMania in Orlando, takes his hat off, leaves it in the ring, and goes away. That because he never really got that proper send-off since he's been retired.
No, he didn't.
I mean, unfortunately, when he retired, they were still doing shows in the Thunderdome.
But I mean, it's kind of good he didn't get the proper send off, because what better way to do it with a live audience at WrestleMania weekend? And I mean,
Yeah.
and then at the end of his speech, he has to end with those 3 words.
Yeah, absolutely.
He has to.
Yep.
If he's still able to, maybe even go down to one knee and the whole tongue and eye roll thing and everything.
Oh,
One
yeah.
last time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I saw something on Twitter about him and Shawn Michaels should do one more match. That'd be like a goddamn geriatric match.
Yeah, I mean, look, the last time we saw those two in the ring, it wasn't good.
I don't think Shawn is doing any more good quality super kicking anymore.
No, I don't know. I don't know if you can get that leg up past someone's chest area.
No.
Or stomach area.
He might be stealing my move, sweet shin music.
The sweet. Right.
So,
right.
I don't know. I think we covered everything.
Yeah, we're on the road to WrestleMania.
Yeah, next big event, WrestleMania.
Yep.
I'm gonna stay excited for it. I hope they don't screw anything up.
Well, I mean, the rumored card is pretty good.
Yeah. And if that's true, he's got to come out on Raw in the next couple of weeks, right?
Who?
Stone Cold. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
He has to come out.
Yeah.
I'm guessing with him and KO and Seth Rollins being tag team partners, which I'm really enjoying.
Yeah.
In the middle of KO talking shit in the middle of the ring, the glass shatter, and here he comes.
Yeah.
So I'll do a backflip. I'll record myself doing a backflip when that happens.
Funny.
Oh, I don't know. You got anything else? I'm just about set.
That's it.
All right. Well, like you said, it's road to WrestleMania now. Now comes the big one. Now it's time to put it all on the table for these guys. See what happens.
Yeah. It's all hands on deck for all the wrestlers. So let's see how, actually, not just wrestlers, but creative.
Yeah.
To put different great stories together.
That's who really shines in good WrestleManias. Creative. Those are the real guys who shine.
So let's see what stories that they can put together outside of, some of the big so far the three big matches that we know of.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, I guess that'll do it.
Cool.
And I guess our next video is going to be a WrestleMania prediction show, maybe, huh?
No, we should probably do. I've been wanting to do a first half Bulls review.
Ooh, I'll be honest. I'm a little bit behind on my Chicago Bulls. So, but I'll have to brush up before we get to that.
Cool.
So, all right, I will talk to you later, dude.
Sweet.